Hello, I'm Alex from BSC Designer. In this video, I will give you a quick introduction to our software solution. First of all, what is BSC Designer? It is Balanced Scorecard software, or software for strategy execution. In simple words, this tool will help you to describe your strategy on a strategy map and monitor its execution with key performance indicators, KPIs. The software does it by supporting the Balanced Scorecard framework, and recent studies indicate that this framework, decades after its creation, continues to be one of the most popular business tools.
Now, let me show you how the software can help to solve the strategy execution challenges in practice. I'm going to start with a demo scorecard. And by the way, this tool is free for small projects. So you can sign up with an account right now and get your own impression about how this software feels. Or if you prefer, continue with this video and I will show what it is all about. Let's start with a quick look around the software. We are now on the KPIs tab, where we have some business goals and the KPIs with all their targets and performance data. This table is fully customizable. We can add more items or change the columns that the software shows. It's good to know that your decisions will be based on the data, right? The next step is strategy map. This map that you can see now was designed automatically using the data from KPIs tab. A strategy map includes mission statement, 4 perspectives, strategic themes or priorities, business goals, the cause and effect links between them, some initiatives, and of course metrics or KPIs. A one-page strategy map like this helps to eliminate the gap between strategy planning and execution. There is no magic there, it just makes important goals and performance indicators more visual. The strategy map is a tool that the members of the executive board can use to formulate their thoughts about strategy and share their thoughts with their team. Now, let's switch to the dashboard tab. Here we can visualize all the performance data for this scorecard. A dashboard, as well as a strategy map, can be easily exported and included into your strategy presentation. Another topic. What are you going to do with your KPIs? We collect performance data on the scorecard for many reasons. For example, it's a good idea to analyze past performance or predict future values of the indicators by using historical data. All this can be done on the Analysis tab in no time. Do you want to know the expected value of the indicator in a year? Use the forecast function, and the software will give you an answer. Finally, strategy execution is all about involving members of your team. It's about providing them with the information necessary for making the right decisions. BSC Designer automates this on the Alerts tab. In this tab, you can configure sending automatic notifications to the members of your team. Now, let's create a new scorecard, and I will show you how easy it is to set up everything. I'm switching to the My Scorecard section, where I need to click New button and select the New Scorecard option. Here you have access to some scorecard templates. Those templates are great time savers. For example, if you plan to focus on the innovation strategy, then you can use this template. It includes some KPIs for innovations, as well as the strategy map, and a link to an article that explains the best practices about designing a strategy map in this very case. Need a template for safety, talent strategy, or sustainability? No problems. You have some great examples right in your account. You will also find the framework section in the list of these templates. Before I mentioned that BC Designer supports Balanced Scorecard framework natively. Well, many other frameworks follow similar ideas with just some conceptual differences. So if you prefer, for example, the OKR framework, Objectives and Key Results, then you can automate it with BC Designer as well. Finally, if it is your first experience with the Balanced Scorecard framework, then you can try this option, the Strategy Scorecard Wizard. What does it do? It will work like a personal strategic consultant for you. In this case, the software will ask you a number of questions and will use your answers to build a strategy map. That's a great way to get started with this business framework. I wanted to show you how to create a scorecard from scratch, so I will use this option for perspectives. The software created a new scorecard for me. It has 4 perspectives on the KPIs tab and the same 4 perspectives on the strategy map. Let's add some goals and KPIs to it. I will start with a finance perspective. I want to add a new goal here, so I select the perspective and click the Add button on the toolbar. The new item was created. Let's give it a name. Improve profits. Now we can create 2 more goals in the customer perspective. Those goals will help us to achieve the improve profits goals. I select the customer perspective and click the Add button. Enter the name for the goal. In this case, it will be improve customer service. Now let's repeat the steps and create another goal, which will be improve product. I'm now switching to the strategy map tab to see what the goals look like on the strategy map. Here I have 2 rectangles that correspond to the created goals. Now let's get back to the KPIs tab. We have our goals. To make them even more specific, we need to define the ways to quantify and measure them. Let's do it for improve product goal. I select the goal and click the Add button on the toolbar. Then I change the name of the created item to product quality. Now we can set up this indicator. First of all, quality means different things for different people. So what do we mean by product quality in this case? Why do we have it on our scorecard? To answer these questions, I will use the description field. Let's put there, make product easier to get started for new users. Let's move ahead with the setup of this indicator. What will be the measurement units for product quality? The software offers some predefined measurement units like quantity, currency, percent, risk. We can also create our own measurement units, but in this case, we'll measure product quality in percent. We have the product quality indicator on this scorecard because we want to change it, to improve it. How can we track this change? We need to have some reference points. In the software, we call them baseline and target. Baseline is a starting point, and the target is where we want to get what we want to achieve. We also need to know where we are now, and that's what we specify here in the value field. Let's put some sample numbers. our historical baseline might be 65%, our current value can be 70, and our target can be 90. The software calculated our progress for us, which on a scale from 65 to 90 is just 20%. In other words, the software normalized data for us. If you want to learn more about how the software gets all these numbers, then check out our product tutorial where we have a very detailed explanatory video. Now, let's create some more indicators, but in this case, instead of doing it manually, I will use this option in Tools menu, Import Indicator Values. I will need to pick import from a MS Excel document, pick my document, upload it, look at the preview, and on this tab, I see that the columns from the spreadsheet document are recognized and associated with the properties of the indicator: parent name, indicator name, some values. And the only thing I need to do is to tell to the software that I have multiple dates in a row. Click Next, Next again, and Finish. I have my indicators on the scorecard. And by the way, if you are looking for more robust data import, not just manual import using import from a spreadsheet document, then you can use Zapier connector that allows to automate things much better. So contact our customer support to get more details. And by the way, in a similar way, we can export the data from the scorecard. In this case, I need to pick Tools, Export Indicator Values, and the software will guide me on exporting data. In this way, you can create a template that you can later use to input data in BSC Designer Online. Let's do some adjustments to the newly created indicators. We need to decide about their business context. Let's start with customer satisfaction. In the context of improve customer service goal, does this indicator quantify a success factor or an outcome? I'd say that it is more about the outcome. To reflect this idea, I'll make sure that on the Context tab, the type of this indicator is login. What about response time and response quality? I'd say that in the context of the improved customer service goal, these two indicators quantify the success factors. Let's change the type of indicator for them to leading one. One more thought about business context. Any strategy is guided by few strategic priorities or strategic themes. In our case, what are the strategic themes for each goal? For the improved customer service goal, we can set the customer service strategic theme. And for improved product goal, we can set a product leadership theme. I'm switching to the strategy map to see how the goals and indicators are displayed now. The leading indicators are marked with a green color, while the lagging indicators are marked with a gray color. The goals that belong to different strategic themes are also marked accordingly. Let's get back to the indicators. And another question that I wanted to ask: do we want to increase the values of those indicators or decrease them? Obviously, we want to increase customer satisfaction. That's why here on the Performance tab, we have this optimization, maximize value linearity. What about response time? We can measure it in, let's pick here, hours. Now, do we want to respond faster or slower? For sure, we want to maximize its performance. but it means that we need to minimize its value. So we need to respond faster. That's why in the Performance tab, I will choose Minimize Value Linearly. This way, I will tell to the software that a lower value means higher performance. Finally, what about response quality? Obviously, we want to maximize it. And by the way, in the optimization drop list, we have some other predefined options. For example, this one, exponential growth 1. Let's apply it. Okay, the chart on the right has changed. Now it shows different picture. The sectors on the chart are not equal now. The red zone is bigger. These optimization functions tell to the software that certain levels of quality are not acceptable at all. In this case, the acceptable zone starts at somewhere at 84%. So that's about optimization function. And by the way, on the Performance tab, we also have a weight setting. This will explain to the software the importance of one indicator compared to another one on the same scorecard, on the same level, when the software will calculate the performance of index indicators, the performance of goals, the performance of perspectives, or the performance of the whole scorecard. We did a great job describing our strategy. We have some goals, and those goals are measured with KPIs. Does our team have all the necessary details to start executing this strategy? Well, it depends on the goals and the metrics we use. Sometimes they are self-explanatory, but for some goals, we need to explain how we are planning to achieve them. Let's take improve customer service goal. What should our team do to achieve this goal? For example, we can train the customer support team. Let's note this down in the software. I need to select the goal and click on this initiative button, and then click Add Initiative. The name of the new initiative can be Train Support Agents, and let's assign $4,000 budget to it and get some duration. We can also link some additional documents such as training programs and assign a person responsible for these initiatives. Let's see how this initiative is visualized on the strategy map. I see it here in the rectangle that corresponds to the business goals. The indicators are now ready. Let's select the customer satisfaction indicator and use the values button, values editor button on the toolbar to check out its values. I see that the data that I previously imported from the Excel spreadsheet is here, and I also see some other important settings. This one, the update interval type, helps me to keep the scorecard organized and make sure that all indicators are updated on time. This one, the values inheritance setting, defines how the indicator should behave for the dates with no values. Should it show nothing, or should it show the last known value? Finally, this one, group by settings. This setting tells the software how this indicator should calculate its aggregated value. Some indicators should be summarized, like, for example, monthly sales. And for some, we need to see the average, like, for example, for customer satisfaction. Let's go back to the strategy map and see what the software did for us. Here on the top, we have a mission statement that I can edit by selecting root element on the KPIs tab. I have here mission field. Then we have strategic themes that define top priorities. We have 4 perspectives that we can customize or add a new one. Finally, we have all our business goals, KPIs, and an initiative. This is a standard Balanced Scorecard strategy map. If you have in mind something different, then you can add a new map and design it from scratch, or visualize your goals and KPIs in a different form. For example, using one of the options in the placement wizard. One important thing that is missing from the strategy scorecard is a cause and effect logic. For now, it's not clear how the goals impact each other. So let's use the link tool from the toolbar and connect improve customer service with improve profits goal. The software will ask me if I want to link these two goals by the data, and I will say yes. Now, the outcome performance of the improve customer service works as an input or leading indicator for improve profits goal. We can do the same for improve product goal. Okay, we have created a simple balanced scorecard with some goals, indicators, and we also have a strategy map. This scorecard is a starting point for all future discussions around strategy. It will work great for top managers, but what about other business units? Should they use the same strategy map, or should they have a local strategy map and align it with the main one? Practice shows that for effective execution, strategies should be cascaded or aligned with each other. With BSC Designer, you can create strategy scorecards for different levels and link those scorecards by business goals or by KPIs. Let's do it now. I will link the goal from this scorecard to some goal in the innovation scorecard that I have in my account. Let me select the improve product goal, and I need to click add button, then go to data tab, and then click on this data source button. Then I click on another scorecard button, select another scorecard as a data source, and select innovation scorecard. Now I need to select the indicator that will be the source for the import. So let's pick this one, this goal, develop behavior patterns focused on innovations. I'm clicking OK, and the new goal appears on my scorecard. And from this point, I can change its type to leading, and as I see, I have some data here on the data tab. Let's see how it looks on the strategy map. Here I have a goal from another scorecard that works as a leading factor for improve product goal. Another topic. Strategy execution is all about having access to the right data at the right time. In BSC Designer, there is a dashboard tab where you can visualize some relevant performance data. For example, let's create a chart for the customer satisfaction indicator. Here I have it. It would be interesting to see how or if customer satisfaction correlates with response time. I can move the mouse over the chart and click this gear icon and pick customer satisfaction. I have it here. I can correlate with response quality. Well, it looks like our hypothesis worked. With the increase of response quality, customer satisfaction increased as well. Well done, team. Now, let's talk about performance reports. One of the reasons why you might want to use Balanced Scorecard software is to have an automated reporting for your strategy. In BSC Designer, you have some ready-to-use reporting tools. First of all, there are standard reports like the performance report in HTML or Excel formats. And there are also some more focused reports for goals and KPIs. For example, do remember that we specified a budget for initiative that we had created before. You can create a cost of strategy report that will summarize all your budgets and timelines and calculate the total cost of executing this strategy. Before, we created some leading and logging indicators. The leading metrics quantify our efforts, and the logging metrics validate our results. What if you want to see how your efforts stand against the results? You can track this via this efforts versus results report. Finally, if you simply want to have a list of things to do for your team with all the goals and initiatives compiled in one place, you can do this via the Actions Plan report. Besides this, you can design your own reports using the Profile option. Another topic, let's talk about making strategy everyone's job. I'm going to switch to my scorecards section and click the share button. So strategy execution is a team game, and certainly we need to specify some rules. For example, who can access certain scorecards, who can set targets for the indicators, who can edit historical data, or who can just view the indicators. And in this share section, we can organize teamwork and we can define all these access rights. And by the way, if a security regulation in your organization requires it, then you can activate a log function to know who exactly accessed or modified a scorecard in your account. In the end, I'd like to mention a few other things that our customers like to use. I have switched to the settings page, and I can do some interesting things here. On the logo tab, I can add the logo of the organization so that it will appear in the right corner as well as in all the reports. On the backup tab, you can download all your scorecards from your account. That's useful if security regulation in your organization require to do this regularly. And on the integrations tab, you can learn how to connect BSC Designer with some other business tools. Well, all these might sound like a complex business product. Yes, it is complex internally, but for our end users, it is very easy to get started. That's the reason why BSC Designer is so popular among strategists around the world. What's the best way to learn the software? I would recommend starting with free training videos that we have for all functions. You can locate them via this camera icon directly in the interface of the software, or simply find them in the user manual. We also have some more training sessions that come with paid subscriptions. If you're looking for some specific implementation cases from, let's say, your business domain or your country, then start with the use cases section on our website, or simply contact us directly for more specific information. Finally, we regularly publish some educational content about strategy execution and performance measurement. So I do recommend following us on social media to get some insights first. What about the pricing of the product? The software is free for small projects, so you can sign up with a free account and start building a prototype of your strategy scorecard right now. That's a recommended alternative to building a scorecard in a spreadsheet software. Anytime, you can upgrade your free plan to the paid subscription. The price is calculated according to the number of power users. Power users are those users who can create scorecards, add goals, input data, and there are also view-only users that are free and unlimited for all paid subscriptions. On our website, we have a price calculator that will help you to estimate the final price. There you can also get an official quote from our e-commerce provider and buy subscription online. That's all for this video. Thank you for your attention and good luck with your next scorecard.